they want to get more involved within the school. So, Deputy Butler yesterday, they're just gonna go inside the school and just hang around for an hour or two, and just mingle with the kids. If the kids have any issues, they can come to us, and we're gonna give it a try, see how it goes over. Because it went over really well yesterday.
Good.
I'm heading for Des Moines this afternoon. I got some schooling I need to do there, and I'll be back Friday.
What's it up?
Oh, heck no.
No.
Well, we have been busy. It's been a busy year in terms of indictments overall, and maybe a little down from last year. Still above the average we've had the first few years I've been here. We've got a number of serious sex abuse cases that are in the pipeline and remain, and hopefully have some resolution. Perhaps one of those coming out, but you never know. We have a specially set jury trial in a drug trafficking case involving fentanyl coming up in January. We're in the middle of a termination of parental rights hearing that's going into its third day now. That's been quite a journey, and hopefully we'll be able to wrap that up at the end of the month. Been working with Kevin and the deputies a lot on some additional training, and been investing a lot of time in that, and otherwise been busy working with various folks on the civil side of things as well. So not quite business as usual, but plenty of usual business to keep me busy.
Yes, so the vault shed, we have the walls up and the hoop skeleton structure up. We worked with a contractor to get the roof cover put back on. We were able to bring that project back within budget by doing that precast solution, so we're going to have the money available to do the Ochean roof at the Ochean shop. We met with DNR and Rural Water by Zoom to discuss the water in the Ochean River at the Thomas Pit, and then we did have a follow-up meeting with Osceola Water, and we did send out a joint letter to DNR as requested that we're going to work together to come up with solutions to make sure we don't have the river run dry like we did this year. We took possession of the pup trailer that had been purchased, and we will be auctioning one of 3 of our old tandem trucks this spring. The Sportsman's Club shooting complex, they did go to the Planning Commission last week, and they received a recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission to the Board of Adjustment. The Board of Adjustment meeting is this afternoon for that. Other than that, I will be gone the rest of the week at the annual County Engineers Conference in Des Moines.
Wow, you want to have supper?
He doesn't have to worry about getting cold.
I just got back from all that. That wasn't as bad. I wasn't bad like beer.
On the river bed issue, we were within the permit they granted us.
Yeah.
Is there language, my concern is just, is there language in this saying that we're taking on responsibility for not having the bed go dry? We follow the parameters they allowed us to use, so I don't think we're at fault for what happened. In a sense, I mean.
They're not saying we're at fault. We were within the parameters of our permit, as was Rural Water. However, the combination of what we were doing, what Rural Water was doing, and the dry season still caused the river to dry.
Sure.
And the state law does give them the ability to claw back on permits and unilaterally make changes to our permits. So instead of doing that, they're asking us, are there ways we can work together? Mainly for us, it's going to be holding seasonality of when we do the pumping, when we do it next time. So what we discovered is that our contractor was late getting out there, so that put us deeper into the drier part of the summer. Rural Water had some wells that were being worked on, and their contractor was running late, which caused them to rely more on the wells in that same area, and we had a dry year. So there's things we think we can all do to try to hold the line to make that work better in the future.
Okay. And I'm all for improving best practices and doing what we can. It just a little bit of that sounded like, well, we've got to show that we're not going to do this. Well, we were doing what they allowed us to do, so I'm just hesitant to say it's on us solely to.
They're looking for us to come up with solutions on our own, so that they don't force solutions on us that we may not like.
they said we could do what we did, that they don't like.
After we were within the limits of our permit.
Working to try and keep the shooting ranges up to snuff. Sheila keeps selling deer licenses, and before they go to do that, they have to go make sure everything's sighted in, and then that's where things get a little dicey for us, because weather.
So it's all Sheila's fault?
It's all working on annual reports. We got the weed commissioner annual report coming up. Got the conservation board annual report will probably be at the next meeting. We do have an ad out for a new board member. One of our board members has reached his term limits, and he is retiring. So we do have some applications for that. Probably handle that in the next meeting. And working a little bit on Trout Fest, and that's coming up on February 4th, which will be here before we know it. People have been out fishing for them. We've been a number of tags turned in already. Right now is the time of year where the Iowa DNR is doing their chronic wasting disease surveys for the state, and we're trying to help them come out with some deer heads for that, and just some equipment maintenance stuff going on.
Yeah, like Becky said, Barb is working out really well. She's caught up in all of our back scanning we have now. She's working on her voter registration, and we're training her, transferring deeds and stuff. And we were busy doing valuation reports, and she was busy doing that, and I started budget. Handing out the sheets with department heads. This week, I'm assuming, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Working on recovery, the state is now calling it recovery support function. A recovery plan, which makes it possible for us to get money if there's a disaster. So I'll be submitting that sometime this week to them. And, budget stuff, we got a meeting coming up Thursday, Mike, reminder, to get that started, so that's about it.
Okay, I think that's everything. And I don't have a meeting back over Jerry.
I don't know who brought it up, but
No.
No.
Thanks, Nolan.
Thank you guys for coming, sorry I was late.
You just saw the trees down there.
I got a few, what's that?
The trees down there. We gotta stay.
9 o'clock, library.
9 o'clock,
I
library?
think that's out there.
Thank you, guys.
Mary is the big girl.
Mary.
Mary out there.
There we go, somebody get into those donuts. Never have too many donuts.
Sure there'll be other items. All right, Mary.
You'll be surprised to hear that I had to bring my stuff in a plastic thing this morning. This would have been soaked wet. I do have a little handout, I'll just pass it to Jason, and there should be some extra copies. Mary Earl representing the Sibley Public Library this morning. Once again, huge appreciation for the monetary financial support that you give all 4 libraries. Kind of speaking for all the libraries this morning, if you're not aware, the other 3 county libraries are a little bit in limbo, and I'll just give you a quick update about those. Ashton Library, of course, Tim Christensen passed away in September 22, and his wife Sue helped out for a while in October. From what I understand, they have hired a new library director whose name is Grace Hoffman, but these are just details that I've heard from the state library. Melvin Library, Pauline retired this fall, and Diane Ellen, E-L-L-E-N, started as the new library director. Diane was hoping to be here, or last contact that I heard from her, she was gonna try to be here, but I have not seen her, so if she shows up, make sure you tell her welcome. Ocheyedan Library, Beth resigned in August, and then the library was closed for a few months while they looked for a new director. Tammy Tuckstra and Dave Johnson started as co-directors in November. So, from what I understand, all the libraries have directors again, but, they're just all starting. Sue Brockshus, who is the library board president, was planning on being at the meeting here with me this morning, but has a really bad cold and she texted this morning and didn't want to risk driving on the icy road, but she was planning on being here. So I just wanted to give you just a really quick rundown of some things at the Sibley Public Library. The top thing is truly exciting to me because I'm the one that has to work on the accreditation, so all of our things that we have to turn into the state library. Our tier level accreditation through the State Library of Iowa was renewed through 2025, and that's the highest level that you can attain in the state of Iowa. You have to achieve certain standards and prove that you've done tons of things. I mean, it's like a 25-page document that I have to turn back into the state library. It takes me about 3 months to prepare it. So I'm very proud of that. Our library in Sibley has worked really hard to attain those levels. Also, our Learn and Discover monthly sessions hosted by Dave Keel is very popular. We tend to have about 30 to 35 people that come every month for those. It's a documentary. We have a subscription to Discovery Plus, and we usually choose some of the David Attenborough sessions, and everybody seems to really enjoy that. We were very involved in the 150th celebrations over the summer and tells the 4 different things that we offered at the library in correspondence with the 150th. And then I also highlighted some of the grants that we received this past year. Of course, the Community Foundation grant. You probably have seen the cobblestone paver area, you'll picnic outside the library. And then we also purchased adjustable mobile tables for our children's area. Prior to that, we'd have to pick up the tables, stack them, drag them across the carpet. This way they're all on wheels, they fold up and can nest, they're wonderful. So we can have it completely empty for a large group of people or have it all with the table. I wanted to tell you a little bit about our community outreach. A year ago, I went to an online conference talking about community mapping, how the library can reach out to the community. And I did a community mapping project with our staff and with the library board. And the one big area that we really wanted to collaborate with and reach out to was the school. So as a result of that, the Sibley Ocheyedan grades 5 through 8 come now for monthly library visits. I coordinated this with the teachers, the 5th through 8th grade teachers, reading teachers specifically. And Sandra was just at the library yesterday, and I was telling her a little bit more about it, but it has just been wonderful. It just gives the kids more things to choose from, more books to read, a whole different feel, a whole different outlook on libraries. And it's been very successful. They'll continue that through April, and so they all come, and the kids love it, we love it, the teachers love it. And then just kind of by accident, we've started really fun outreach with Hope Haven. They typically, the residents there have come to the library real often, but now it's more like a monthly learning session. We did an author session where I told them about different authors. Rachel actually dressed up as J.K. Rowling from the Harry Potter books, and I interviewed her, and they just loved it. Last month we did a Pearl Harbor, how to find things in the library, and even had a scavenger hunt for them, and so they've just been, it's been very enjoyable to have the Hope Haven residents come also. And then, of course, the Lyon County Riverboat Foundation grant, that's a $2,000 grant. We were able to get 24 children's chairs to go with the tables that we bought earlier. And then we also received the Early Childhood Iowa grant, and we're doing parent backpacks with those. Those are for, like, parents that maybe have 0 through 3 months old. They can check out. It's interactive things that they can take home in the backpack to bring back to the library. And if the child gets older, they can go on to the next backpack. So those have been really popular too. And then, of course, all of our youth programs, summer reading, Splash, Gladys, story time as usual. But those are just some of the things I wanted to highlight to you that we've been doing at the Sibley Public Library. Once again, huge appreciation to all of you for your support. And like I said, that's all I know about the other three libraries. Any questions or comments? You guys usually have some kind of comment. Mike, you usually have a comment.
That's when Mike was here, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't like me on
He
one.
always has a comment.
I know you do a little bit of daycare too, don't you? I know
Yeah.
my grandson's,
Yes,
that's what.
that's the story time. Yep, they come, it's like every week except like one week they'll come to the library and then the next week Rachel goes there. Yeah, that's really fun.
You just take care.
Yeah, and then
Teaches them about the library.
yeah, right, and they come for a story, and then Rachel always has a craft of some type for them. Yeah. And that we just do during the school year, of course, but, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's really fun to see all the little kids coming. Yeah, I'm glad your grandson likes it.
Yes.
Good. Isn't it a whole favorite thing? And actually, one of the gals that comes with the group says, you know, some places we go and they're like, oh, they're here. But she said when they come to the Sibley Public Library, all of you guys are like, hi, come on in, you know, and we're just happy to have them. And even our patrons that come while they're there interact with them, and it's good for everybody. It's a good situation. Yeah, so we're excited about both of those collaborations. Sandra, did you want one of these?
Sure, yeah.
Too?
That way then. Add that into the.
Just kind of, anybody else in the newspaper that?
Melvin's new librarian, I think is.
Diane, I haven't met her yet.
Good, yeah.
Good. And I have worked a little bit with Tammy Hoekstra since she started, and she's gonna be great at the Oceana Library. She's gonna do a fantastic job.
All right.
That's all I got.
Any other questions?
So kind of surprised to have 3 libraries change
I
in the
know,
same year.
I know, yeah. It's been a transition for the other 3 places, definitely.
And it's hard to find stuff.
I know it. Very hard to find somebody.
It's a lot of time for what you get.
And, you know, a place like the Melvin Library is not open very many hours, so, you know, that makes it even more of a challenge, I think, too. A lot of people want a few more hours, so. Any other questions or comments? I didn't take very long. It was relatively painless. Yeah, right. If you say so.
Thank you very much, Mary.
You are very welcome. You guys have a great rest of the day and try to avoid tree branches.
Tell Mike
I will do that, yes.
Can you still hear us, Ed? Ed?
Yep,
Okay,
yep, I can.
okay. I just said you're quiet, so I didn't know if you could still hear us or not.
I muted myself, you don't have to listen to the conference.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
Where are we at here?
I did cross off the 9:45 item.
Yeah.
We're gonna travel today.
We're going to discuss medical director.
All right.
Discuss the medical director. Is that?
So, probably back in July, actually, we've been kind of searching for, someone, that we can change, get our protocols and, the quality of care that we wanted to give. Every medical director has that, ability to change our protocols. But we have, strict guidelines that the state sets up, and, our group has really wanted to stay with that. It's quite a lengthy, protocol book. What we have found is that we wanted to follow the Idaho protocols, which is pretty much what all the other services around us follow. So we wanted to stick with that. Also, there is out there, it's called the Iowa System Standard of Care, and it's what every Iowan can expect from emergency services. So whether you have an accident or a heart attack in Des Moines, or whether you have it in the town of Ashton, all the care would be the same across the board. And we wanted to stick with that. And as you know, numbers are really short all the way around us. So we have decided to group together, and with O'Brien County. So we are affiliating ourselves with the O'Brien County, and they with us, and we'll be sharing the same protocols that they do and the same medical director that they have. So it's a very positive move in our direction. I think that we need to move forward in our care versus stay with, what we're doing. That's pretty much, has really, basically, the medical director that we, are going with. I mean, she is the medical director for NCC College, so she's got some very positive, feedback from that. And she knows the people that go to the college. She's very involved in that EMS program up there, so it's just a real positive move for us.
Shouldn't your board have been involved in this?
Yes, and you and I had a verbal conversation about this back in July. I know we don't have anything written down,
I mean, as a board, it should have been discussed at the
probably,
meeting.
probably the EMS board, as far as the members did discuss this. We did, and yes, you probably did not get an invitation, and that's probably at our fault for that.
Because I was really surprised when I saw that email.
Well, yeah. But, we've been having, I've had conversations with Deb since October. So, and so he knows, he doesn't really like to see it moved out of the hospital, but he understands the bigger plan.
I know I talked with Heidi over in Little Rock, he said that they were looking at changing too, and she says, no, they're very happy with Rachel.
That's what they're saying now, yes, that is true. They were looking into changing medical directors also though.
That's not what Heidi told me.
Yeah, well, that is what their director told me, so. And then when we called her back, then she said that their group had discussed it and that they were gonna stay. So, and that's their choice, so. But for us, this is a positive change, and I hope that you guys will see that as well.
I don't think it hurts to work with other counties as a whole, but doesn't it kind of cut our local hospital out of it now?
We still have to use our hospital, we still have to bring our patients there. We're not, no one's taking over anything, Sheldon's not taking over what was it that I heard, Melvin or whatever, and Hartley was supposed to be taking over May City. That's not happening. What we're trying to do is affiliate ourselves with a bigger service so that we are joining resources. But, this nowhere takes, we still have to bring, patients into the Sibley Hospital. It's not gonna, they're not gonna lose revenue over what we're doing here.
So are some of their volunteers gonna ride on our ambulance too?
If they're just close enough, yes, they will. We'll join to, there's a lot of people that live out in the country that are on other services that we can utilize their help. And we're doing that, we have one right now by Little Rock that's joined up with our service. That, we were able to supply them with a jump kit that, has pretty much everything in it, even an AED. So, in that area, I think it's Viola area township, yes. The Viola area township is able to respond to those calls until we get there. So, and that's a positive thing, and hopefully we can do the same over by the Harrison and down by May City. And so we're just looking for people that you know, possibly are in another service that, you know, live kind of close to our county lines.
Have they been recognized on our insurance?
Are they recognizing what?
Our insurance?
Probably when they, would probably, you know, we get to it, you know, we'll have to put them on our insurance, or they
Well,
are working, as far as taking shifts, you mean, like,
Well, if something happens, could
yeah,
they
they'll
come back,
have to be.
could they come back on us?
Mhm. Yeah.
They could.
I don't know, could they come back on us or couldn't they, or what?
I don't see that happening, but anything can happen anymore.
Yeah.
These days, right? Something that doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything.
the answer lies in what agreements you would or wouldn't have with those folks. I mean, like, just like we talked about appointment of the medical director, if there's not documentation that's clear as to who works for whom and who's covered under whose insurance, then it becomes an open question that we'd rather avoid leaving open. But the reality is if they're riding on our ambulance, providing ambulance services for us, if you look at a lot of the 2080 agreements that get put together, when people share resources across counties, a lot of times you'll see that, you know, liability would be for the people or for the, you know, entity that is receiving the services. So in other words, I mean, I gotta think that if we're gonna put something together where Shelton's ambulance is helping us out, and they're running on our ambulance, providing services to Osceola County residents, that if something were to happen, the most likely outcome would be that that liability would be reflected towards our county, especially if there was an agreement between counties or between EMS services, because I would imagine that that would be kind of a condition of that. And I think if you think back to when we were using the county engineers from other counties, that was, in my understanding, the basis of it, that, you know, that would be our insurance covering their interim engineer when he was providing services for us. So that's something that we would probably need to think about and consider as we potentially move forward.
Like this gentleman in Viola, is he, like you said, listed on our squad?
Yes.
So this isn't, the way I understand it, it is a done deal,
Yes, it is a done deal.
and who makes that call?
Our board didn't,
Pardon?
our board didn't make that call.
I never have made that call to vote on a medical director.
No, I mean, your EMS board.
Yes, yes, the EMS board did vote on this and did decide that this was the route that they wanted to go. Yeah, probably,
I wish I'd been there, because I'd have voted no.
yeah.
Could you provide those minutes for
Yeah.
review, please?
Okay, I got a question.
Go ahead,
How
Ed.
is this gonna improve services for Harrisville and Main City?
How is this gonna improve your what for Bay City?
My services.
Well, as you know, Rodney is the, EMS director over there, correct? And, I have talked to him on the phone, and, I guess Tim and I and Jared Johnson were gonna sit down and come up with, some sort of a written plan.
Rodney from Hartley?
Yes, Rodney, I can't think of what his last name is, like Allstop or something like that.
Aaron Store?
Yeah.
Aaron Storm, there you go,
I
thank
think
you.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
But nothing's really been done in that aspect yet, right? As far as Harris, Melvin, May City, nothing's formally been done.
No, nothing has formally been done, no.
Any other questions, comments?
So if you were seeking or evaluating the medical director position, had you offered the previous medical director the opportunity to oversee this joint venture structure, or did you target someone and go after someone individually, or
Well,
you need to see local people?
we have reached out to several different medical directors, like the one in Rock Rapids. We talked to the one over in Spirit Lake, you know, just, put some feelers out with the state of Iowa, you know, if they knew of anyone that was, our whole goal is to, run our service according to the Iowa protocols and the system standard of care. That's our whole goal, is to do that.
Have there been instances where we've been running short of that, or is that?
Yeah,
is there steps that need to be done to attain that?
And we have approached our current medical director. We went out, I reached out and to different service areas in our county or in our 9, we are in the, service area 3, so there's like 9 counties in our service area 3. Reached out to them about a specific thing. They all, came back with, just comments on what they do. You know, again, I made, I made copies of those emails, presented it to them, and, they were still adamant about how they wanted the service to run. And they have that right to do that, but we, as the EMS group, also have the right to see that the care that is given is according to the Iowa protocols and the system standard of care.
Did you reach out to any of the other doctors here to see if they do it different?
No, we have not. We did not do that. We just felt like, you know, they're all pretty new, they're young, they're just getting out of, medical school themselves. So it's not like, something that we can't look at in the future, but right now, we really wanted to go with somebody that, believes in the system standard of care and, also with the Iowa medical, you know, the protocols. Really just wanted to, work with somebody that has that knowledge and actually, you know, wants to practice that way.
What are some of the differences that you do now that you want?
Pardon?
The differences from what, say, our medical director now has you doing to what you want to do? What are some of the differences?
Well, as you guys know, we are an ALS service, but, for the last 4 years, we really haven't been practicing as, doing ALS care. We, used to, you know, do some transfers, ALS transfers for like Shelton. We are not able to do that because of the different drugs. I mean, totally different drugs that we carry, that they carry. So that kind of pushed us out of that. We can do BLS transfers for them. However, you know, ALS pays more, the revenue. We purchased, the county did those LifePak 15. Those were $35,000 a piece. They have the capability of doing a 12-lead, which is a picture of your heart when you are having a heart attack. And we have the capability of transmitting that to our hospitals and our local hospitals. The hospital here shut that service off in their computers. It was by the direction of the medical director, because nobody looked at that anyway. Although that was the whole point behind the Helmsley grant and the Mission Lifeline was that we were able to do those 12 weeks in the field. That was the one question we asked everybody in our area, and they said, that's the system standard of care. Why would you not do that? And again, we brought that information, and it was still.
Probably because it takes too much time, Sandy.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, it does. I disagree.
You know,
I've been on the
as far as
ambulance.
the
That takes way too much
stuff
time.
goes, you're doing that, the events that your heart is having at the time of your being in the house to when you are moved to the back of that ambulance and moved into the hospital can change significantly. So when they do the EKG in the hospital, it could be totally different from what we have in the back of that ambulance. It's basically, it's 12 patches. You know, they have a big machine that they roll in, we have a portable machine. So it really isn't taking up that much time. But again,
I would disagree with you with that.
All right.
It takes away too much time.
that's fine.
When I took the
Is
course,
there any cost savings associated with this?
Is there anything what associated?
cost,
No.
Cost.
As far as, what we're saving by using, their, pharmacy, that's the savings right there. The pharmacy will own the drugs versus the medical director, which, we have to purchase all the drugs. So that's a savings right there because we'll only be charged for the drugs that we use, not all, you know, as we order them, you know, we have to pay for them upfront.
any other questions, comments?
No.
Jason? I just got one comment. I think it created some hard feelings. Let's leave it at that.
I do too.
If there's nothing else, all right. I think that takes care of that. Next, well, 9:30. Discuss updated subsequent antenna and cellular line. Who's got that?
Yeah. That's all.
Oh.
Just because you paid for it, if you've got special price.
Let's be honest, we're gonna be a little later.
I'm up.
Yeah, you're up, yeah.
You get the good seat.
You know, I just down to the post office and the oddest thing just happened.
That comes out of the country.
And they came across an old letter to Santa, and it says Mikey Schulte.
Come on.
And I didn't read it, I didn't want to, and then there's a response from Santa. And so they said, would I deliver that? I just haven't.
You're a sweet, Mike. You're gonna be in trouble.
Mike?
I think you should read it. I mean, what I have to say is something big. We'll hear it after. I'm basically here for the Sesco Centennial Committee, and, with the bearing of the time capsule, we're asking your permission to update the plaque on the property. Basically what it is. Now, we don't want to deface anything or do anything without your permission. And what it would be, and we have money to do this, and so we want to spend the money in the county and we think that, would be for the county. And so I would say something like the site of the Othello County time capsule, a collection of materials and important papers representative of a period where buried in a time capsule reflected this marker during the 1972 Othello County Centennial, Centennial and Sesquicentennial memorabilia has been buried here, September 25th, 2022. Those involved in this did so in the hope that it will be carefully retrieved for study during some later similar celebration. So, if you are okay with that, you want to read this, and you get back to the site and take a look at it, and
I do.
okay. Then the other thought came to mind, and I'm gonna share these with you, it's quite interesting. In, April 20th, 1960 newspaper, there was an article about the Old Soldiers Monument out there, and some of you who were at the closing ceremony, I talked a little bit about this. But in the base of that monument is a time capsule. And we didn't know anything about it until someone brought it to my attention. I found the article, and there's another article talking about it too. And I marked the spot. Oh, well, yeah, you got that one doesn't belong, and that one doesn't, sorry. What was it? Yeah, here. But anyway, that's the information about what's in that time capsule. I don't think that one could ever be retrieved unless some way that, yeah, you wouldn't ever, you know, several people ask, well, aren't you gonna look at it? No, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. But, we wondered if you would be interested in adding a plaque to that indicating that that time capsule exists. And we would pay for that as well.
Sounds okay to me.
I'd make a motion for approval of both plaques as requested.
Support. And motion and support, to vote, to do both plaques as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I'm done.
There you go.
Motion to include the reference those plaques more specifically, just
Okay, okay. Well, the one plaque, this is the word, you take the
not the
word.
entire wording, but just referencing the soldier and
Oh,
if you want the motion to be a little more specific.
Oh.
The plaques will be.
okay. I think we were happy with the turnout of the September events, and so,
Thanks for all your help.
pulling it all together.
Good work.
Thank you. Yeah, still have people talking about events and stuff like that. Well, I'm dying to know what's in that.
It's gotta be from my sister, because she's the only one that called me Mike. So I think it'll stay between me and her.
We'll let you two fight that out.
Yeah.
No, she's the only one that's ever called me that.
Really?
And she quit that.
I'm not gonna forget it now.
She quit that 60 years ago.
Well, who knows, I didn't see any date on that. Maybe you wrote it 20 years ago.
Maybe it was last year.
Probably was.
You never know.
Although, you know, I got a letter from my granddaughter. She wrote it, well before the election, October 25th or something like that. And I got it the other day.
There was something. Yeah, what it was. But it was something that had been lost for years, and finally, that came through the mail. I can't think now where I saw that or read it. Anyway.
Okay, thanks, Beth.
Have a very Merry Christmas.
Okay, have a Merry Christmas.
And get home safely.
Yep. All right, approve weed commissioner annual report. That's Mr. Nick. All right, you're on.
You want this one for signing? All right. We'll just go through the, I guess, the nuts and bolts of this. In the past year, between the Osceola County Secondary Road Department 5, written notices served. I guess generally how that goes is either we receive a complaint and then go investigate, see if it's actually an infestation, I guess would be the right way to do it. 2, the public just totally ones that usually falls that I said, Mr. O'Connor. Yeah, I guess that's really about it. So the rest of the stuff you can look at, basically, if you'd like. So, no really new problems, still just those darn candidates. Well, some of the other ones we do have, but most of the time, farming practices take care.
Are these all your chemicals and the road department's
Yes, this
chemicals
is what-
together?
This is what they gave me, that they applied.
Okay. All right, anybody got any questions? No. Do you need this, Kent, or does Michelle get this?
What's that?
Do you need this?
Well, I will take it back and send it to them via mail. Hopefully, it doesn't take a month and a half.
Yeah, probably should approve this report.
What's that?
I think you should probably approve this report for having.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I have a motion and support to approve the lead commissioner report. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Approve lead commissioner certification.
Just states that I will be the lead commissioner for calendar year 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve that certification.
Support. I have a motion and support to approve Nick as the lead commissioner. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, discuss compensation board recommendations, actual compensation board. Comments, questions, thoughts? Thoughts, Ed, on the compensation board? Anybody?
I keep keeping up with inflation, but I think 14% is a tad over that.
I would probably agree with you, Ed. What did they give last year, 7? 6. 6.
No one got three.
What's that?
No one got
Oh, yeah.
three.
Yeah.
See cutting it by 2/3, that for 4.6.
4.6 increase. Any other thoughts?
That's just my,
would you come up with that money?
Just divide it by 14 by 3.
I don't think that's near inflation.
What is inflation, do you know, Jason?
Sounds great, huh?
Last 19 was 7, 8, I think, 7.8.
Yeah, that's about right.
To be honest, my thought was half that much, so that's where I was at.
I would disagree with that, but in my head, I thought we were a little ahead of the game last year, but around common increases around other counties, I don't think we were out of line.
No, we weren't.
So, I don't know that I want a full year where we had a lot of cost of living increases and drop it significantly.
Well, 14% is 20% in 2 years.
It will be significant over what they recommended, but I'll not shy away. I've always told our representatives that I don't mind them going high. We can reduce. I don't like if cost of living is high and they come in lower than that we don't have that option to consider it. So I will not throw them under the bus for making a high recommendation.
No, I'm not.
I'm just sharing my approach and what I've shared with them.
I didn't talk to all.
That's our job to decide where it comes, so there could be other approaches, it's just what I've shared with them.
Thoughts, Ed? Any more thoughts?
I think 7% would probably be about right.
I think it's a little high. That's me.
What would you consider, Mike? No more than your 4 point?
Or I go up a little bit, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, what do we do when inflation's down 1%?
I had that, I thought that too, actually.
Well, there have been bad financial years where inflation still existed and the county did nothing, so there are those times where they just have to happen too.
Do you guys act on this today? or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Should.
As far as starting the budgeting process.
Yeah, I agree, I was just asking, if you want to think about it a little more.
So you two are thinking around 7?
Yeah, I think you have that, that you're thinking too, aren't you, 7?
7, yeah.
I'm okay with 7.
I'd say if we match last year's. Whatever.
I wouldn't have a problem with that either. So you want to make a motion, recommendation?
I'll make a motion to start, and see if it gets shut down.
What's the motion?
6%, and Mike made that motion.
I'll support it.
I have a motion and support for 6%. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. 6% passed, Ed.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Is that across the board, or are we treating ours differently?
I'd say across the board. Because we've got,
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Jason? I've had mixed feelings about that.
we've got, 3 or 2 years without anything.
Well, we got, didn't we get
2 for sure.
We didn't get a raise last
I know we did last year, but I thought we did the year before.
I don't think we did, I thought. Yeah.
Thoughts, comments about our own, Ed?
Just whatever everybody wants to do.
comments?
But this year I just do it straight across the board for everybody.
Was that your motion then? Too late now, but.
Yep.
Any comments? Jason, what are you thinking?
If you want decent people to run for the office, you should pay. Yeah.
Is that why we have candidates who did this last time, or?
What's that? All right, we're gonna stay with the 6% across the board?
I would think so.
All right. There's no more comments or questions? Then we'll move on. Discuss or, let's see, approve 2080 agreement with Iowa DOT driver's license non-operator identification cards and person with disabilities devices. Who's got that?
I do, it's, Becky needed it for, so that she can issue driver's license, not operator identification cards and persons with disabilities. It's with DOT and she just needs it.
All right.
And I think Nolan has reviewed it and didn't have any issues with it, so.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
And motion
Support.
and support to approve that 2080 agreement. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Discuss possible vacating and closure of road in section 31 of Harrison. Is that you, Pete? Or
Well,
Michelle?
Barb Rohr from O'Brien County had this request from one of the landowners to close this road, and to vacate it and disarm it. It's a level B road, correct?
Yep.
So, right now, we just have to have the conversation, if you guys are interested in doing it or not, and if you are, then we'll have to have a joint meeting with O'Brien County and set up a public hearing and all that fun stuff that goes along with that. Well, it's on the border between Osceola and it's in section 31 of Harrison Township, so on the county line. So we have to have a joint meeting with them. We did.
I don't like it. It's just like
The fee,
when she, got eliminated that one road, and then buying it back for $250,000.
Comment, Ed?
yeah, do we lose money when we give up roads for road funding for total miles of what we have in county?
Not sure on level B roads.
Did you hear that Keith isn't sure on level B roads?
I can check
I
on
think
that.
level B, or something, which is probably why we still have so many of them.
That's a question I can certainly get answered this weekend at the, or this week at the conference. All the DOT people will be there.
Is the landowner or is O'Brien County?
The landowner.
You would bring what is right of way now back into taxable valuation, right?
Correct. If you were to abandon it, it would become private property.
Which one of those is worth more?
Good question. Depends how many years before you change your mind again. Probably. I think it's a 2-mile stretch between two blacktops.
They're only asking for 1 mile.
Right. 1 mile is probably 1 mile is,
Personally, I would not be interested. It just works out.
I'm not either, because you never know. That's my thought. I'm not saying that's right, but
Yeah, I'm not either.
any thoughts or comments, Keith?
It's not a road we spend a lot of maintenance on. I believe that actually O'Brien does maintain it such as it is. It's not one that we normally touch. I'll still get an answer to the question though on funding. I'm curious on that myself now.
All right. Do you want to table this till next meeting, or see what Keith comes up with?
Yeah. We don't get anything, I don't need that interest.
All right.
I'll make a motion to formally table it until Keith provides some more information.
And I'll support that. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We're gonna hold off till Keith finds out information. Fourth, appoint Aaron Lorch as Harrison Township Clerk.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion and support to approve Aaron Lorch as Harrison Township Clerk. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Reappoint Dr. Greg Coster and Ashley Hinch to the Board of Health.
Both do those positions well, and are willing to be reappointed. I would make a motion to reappoint both of them.
Support.
I have a motion and support to reappoint Dr. Greg Coster and Ashley Hinch to the Board of Health. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss health insurance premium rates for non-union employees.
Maybe if I look.
Yeah, right there. Next two things to show you. The HSA went up, currently we're paying $680 and single will be going up to $781. Currently, the county and the employee pays $424 for family coverage, and starting July, it will go up to $487.50. I feel like that has to increase because they're paying the actual premium, right? That's how I would recommend that, and it's just the HRA that the board will have to discuss, if the board's okay with that. HRA, currently we're still paying more than what the actual premiums are, so the county has to decide, the board has to decide.
On the HSA, the county's still using the HRA premium rates. Pardon me?
Now, for the HSA, we're paying the actual premiums.
Yeah, aren't we setting aside the difference? Aren't we still using the old HR rates? And that's how we're creating the funds to pay the HSA contributions, the private contributions.
I just think so, I'm trying to check that out. The employee is not paying any.
Correct.
They're paying the exact.
And what we pay on behalf of the employee,
Yeah.
obviously, we only pay
Yeah.
the premium.
Yeah.
What we're budgeting for and setting aside is based on the HRA rates.
Yeah, an employee is paying the actual premium cost.
As a portion of the discussion, I'll make the motion to if HSA employees, or employees using the HSA pay actual premium amounts.
So this was like a close to a 15% increase for both of these. Is that right?
Yes and no. The base increase on the premiums was, what did they say, about 8? Our youth experience discount decreased. So, from having last year's premium see a larger discount, and then having an increase in premiums and seeing less of a discount, we're seeing about 14% higher than last year. But it's not tied specifically to premium changes. Restate my motion that employees on an HSA plan will pay the actual premium amount. We've done that in the past, we've started different approaches.
Motion and support. Jason said, get that on that?
That's just a portion of the deal.
Yeah. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
That's non-union employees.
Yep.
HSA.
How long will be the green HS?
It's going on year
3 years. Looks like 3.
23, 3.
What plan?
Well, the HRA is 11E. And then we self-insure down to either 500 or 750.
Which on page 2, Page County just below us does still offer Plan 9, that would be the 750 plan that you self-insure down to. The $500 plan is no longer available, so we don't have that to actually compare to, this pretty close.
Do you understand this chart that Ryan sent? That tells you what an estimate of our fund balance would be with the options 1, 2, and 3.
In a dangerous situation, they change the premiums.
Yeah.
Different than what ours would, it's a ballpark. What we'd be looking at, but it's lower than what we're currently at for HRA premium. I think it would be wise to do at least a 0% increase.
What was that, Jason?
I think it would be wise to at least do the option 1. Ryan presented.
I agree with that. Do you have to have a motion on that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make that a motion. To keep it at 0% increase.
For non-union.
Yep.
I have a motion and support for option 1 for non-union employees. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right. Nothing else on that? Discuss, approve,
But I wanted not the 20.
43 holiday schedule.
What usually goes with you on Christmas Eve?
No, we have all day off.
What do you do? Okay.
See, so that, I have printed the wrong calendar, so you get the correct calendar.
Move it a day back, don't we?
So also gonna be the 23rd and the 26th will be closed.
All right, I got it right now. Sorry about that. So Christmas Eve day is on Sunday. So I didn't know what the board wanted, that Friday off, or what the board wants to do. What? Oh, thank you.
If you talk nice, you can have Saturday.
That's so nice of you guys, I appreciate that.
We're good guys, we're
I
cool
know you are, I know.
So what are you thinking, Friday and Monday then? What is it?
So it'll be the 22nd, and then the 25th off. So yeah,
23rd and 26th.
we're looking at 23 schedule.
Oh.
And the calendar I printed was 22, I messed up, so sorry. So for next year in December,
Christmas
23,
Sunday.
yes, Christmas Eve is Sunday and Christmas Day is Monday.
Oh, Monday, okay.
So, we always get Christmas Eve day off, so I didn't know if you wanted to do that Friday, the 22nd and the 25th, or, because the 26th, you know, we're gonna have, it'll be a normal board day if we did it Monday and Tuesday. And I think I checked with Nolan and that they would have court that, the clerk's office would have court that day.
So maybe you'll,
Yeah, so. I'll leave it up to you, so I didn't know what to do. That's my decision.
What do you guys wishes?
And that's what you had this year, but,
This year we get Friday and Monday off, the 23rd and the 27th.
next year you went the same.
What the board wants to do. We appreciate it, but, you know, we're not the ones making the decision.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Let's take Friday off on the 22nd, okay?
just keep me down and, where's your family at?
St. Louis, we don't go for Christmas, we go for Thanksgiving. We did some gift exchange during Thanksgiving dinner.
And then we also have to discuss New Year's Eve day. We get off at 1 today, or that's what you guys voted on. I didn't know how you wanted to do that.
I think we've always done that, yeah, day.
We did, and we used to get noon, and this time, last you guys approved it at 1. So, of course, that's on Sunday as well, so what are we talking about? Whatever.
Did you understand?
Yes, I did.
So now it's Friday.
Well, that's up to the board to decide.
Well, that's not a handbook holiday, is it?
Mm-mm.
It's an additional one that we approve every year.
Yeah. And I did do
Maybe
that.
only half a day.
67%, we're only 1% too.
And if Rochelle makes cookies.
I guess, to me, the argument was that most businesses are closed the last day of the year afternoon, so you couldn't really conduct much business anyway. Is that going to be true for Friday, the 29th versus the last day of the year? I don't want to take something away from the employees, but it's not the same situation.
I don't care, make the decision, I'll go along with it.
What's your motion, Jason?
That's just a personal thought, is feeling I've heard no flack or irritation that the courthouse is closed the last business day of the year. I do want to see the 1 o'clock rather than noon. If people are getting off work at noon, and they have something they want to get done, then it still provides them an opportunity versus, so.
You wanna make it 2? Why not? You need a motion for that, or?
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, I've been shooting my mouth off enough today.
Yeah. I thought you did well.
The nice part of it, no, or do you want to be chair again next year?
Somebody else can take their turn. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm not saying a word.
And I did not do that other holiday and whatever, that new holiday in June or whatever.
What holiday is that?
Juneteenth, I didn't include that in this.
Good.
I just have the current holidays that we have currently.
Ed, you got a motion on that?
I'll leave it up to the people that are in this room.
Yeah, puts it down to 2 people.
I don't have that updated calendar, I forgot the 2022 one, she's not been.
Yeah, I messed up, sorry.
Okay.
We did Friday this year, and it wasn't the last business day of the year, so I'm trying the last calendar day of the year, so I'd say updated the 29th at 1.
That's a motion?
Well, then it would be the whole holiday schedule with motion on.
And motion and support. All those in favor, say aye.
Right?
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Make sure you get your donut now.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
changed my November, November's never a good time for me, but election.
Claims.
No elections next year.
City and school in November.
That's just a small one.
Yeah, it is, but it's still a lot of work, unfortunately.
There's a water service claim number 943.
Motion to pay that.
And motion total 943. All those in favor, say aye. 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 Opposed, abstained. Motion carried.
I'll make a motion on the rest of them.
Do I have a motion on the rest of the claims?
Support.
And support. All those in favor of paying the balance of the claims, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I think our juvenile that we have a lot of expenses on, I think got moved, so hopefully that will take care of that cost, so. I have one thing for future agenda items. On the 27th, Spencer called me and there has to be a couple drainage meetings, 64 and 65, they're gonna do the reclassification, submit that, and then he also has probably a final pay app for 64 and 65. So, and Jack is coming that day as well, but he can't get here until 11. So I didn't know if you guys wanted to do drainage first, or just have a regular board meeting and then adjourn from the regular board meeting, then go into the drainage, and then come back to the regular board meeting. I didn't know what the board.
How many drainage meetings? One, two?
One or two, maybe three, I can't, cause maybe three. 64 and 65, that'll probably be a joint, and then there's one on that DD 38. Spencer said, they said he probably needs about an hour of the board time. And Jack can't get here until at 11. I have one appointment at 9, Elder Bridge, for their annual report, but if the board decides to do drainage first, then I can move that appointment back.
Tell you guys.
We would, yes, I can move that 9 o'clock drainage back, and then, and then weather permitting, Jack will be here at 11. We have to discuss the union negotiation of vehicle session and his, contract. I didn't know what the board was pushing for, so I'm asking.
Hoping to have a public meeting.
Absolutely.
I get freedom of information there.
What do you guys wanna do, do that drainage before?
I'd go late, I would have but that's obviously not my call.
I'd say just, no disrespect to Sandra, but I think we'll have time to recess from our meeting, do drainage district, and then come back at 11 for Jack, putting the drainage stuff till after.
Kind of have it in the middle then, is what you're saying, the drainage? Okay.
Sounds good. I did get a gift, so.
Guinea baby?
Well, your granddaughters will like that.
One thing she never thought of, my writing has never been that good.
All right, anybody got anything else?
I would just share past review of conflicts of interest and my comments in the past. I offer apologies. My understanding of conflicts was broader than the Iowa Gift Law and Code kind of focuses solely on financial gain from this position. I tend to view it as a wider approach, whereas our policy states that any private interest that affects the judgment of the board member in a manner which is or could become adverse to the interest of the board. Still, in light of Iowa Code, should focus on financial gain. Don't think it's bad for me to broaden that and just try to remain impartial to all our things, regardless of financial status. But, so that followed my view of it, and I apologize for where I've cited inconsistencies with our practice, because of my view of our policy would not probably be upheld. I will still continue to take that approach personally, and encourage you all to do that. It shouldn't just be financial interest that affects it, but, so, my apologies on that.
Do I get my letter back?
Yeah, I understand it.
Any other comments or questions, or?
And here's Sam's answer.
Well, we're getting out of line here.
No, I was told it's public information. Did you want to see that too, Sarah?
But, I can take a picture.
All right, anybody got anything else? Ed, anything else?
That email I'll send out, for I-Smile, that lady coming January 3rd, is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
What was that, I didn't catch that?
That I-Smile thing that Cherokee County is implementing now, or they're requesting funds from the county.
Well, they want the award for that at Western, and we didn't have to own any other money besides it. I've already had a couple other board members from, East Guy reached out that their counties are not going to contribute to that because those people took on contracts in the bidding program. And O'Brien County also put in for that, but didn't get it. They're the one buying our I-Smile service. So, I don't know, they do what they were getting in, so I think I can be asking for that. But they were already awarded the contract for what they did. And the provider didn't get that funding either.
Previous provider would have liked to have continued to do it, but the state decided they needed to use somebody else, so.
Yeah, they feature all the line, they just do this.
State has a lot of those.
But, yeah, so she will be there on the third,
Yeah. Third of the 10th, I can't remember, but one of those 2 dates, she's coming to the board meeting.
All right. Anybody got anything else for discussion? If not,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. And support. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Thanks, Ed.